Hi, my name is Jarrod Dogan. I was born in South Africa and I've lived in the United States for 27 years. I'm a serial entrepreneur with multiple businesses in consumer products across the world. I came to Lisbon with my family in 2019, I think just before COVID. And we absolutely fell in love with the lifestyle. We live in the United States and actually part-time in Hawaii. And I think when we came to Lisbon, there was a certain energy about the city that we loved. My wife is from Brazil, and we have two children who both speak fluent Portuguese. And I think just coming from South Africa, just the influence of, with food and culture, we absolutely fell in love with it. And we're pretty sad to leave when we went back. I think we all got through it, and it was interesting. There was just a big calling to come back to Portugal. So we came back, I believe, in 2022 and heard about the Golden Visa, which, again, I think it was just a really good fit for us. And obviously, as a foreign investor in different countries, it's certainly not easy to deploy capital and feel comfortable with the project, let alone trying to figure out the actual visa itself. But it was actually seamless with the Ando guys. They partnered us up with a prevalent attorney firm, which again, being in a foreign country, foreign language, I was a little skeptical, but it was actually a very smooth process. It's interesting, but there's a lot of work around collecting information. You don't think about criminal records and things that you have to sort of go back and look at, but again, with the attorney firm that Ando had found for us, they made it very easy. Obviously, setting up bank accounts, doing all the groundwork, which there's a lot of work, but it was sort of seamless. I spent quite a lot of time in Lisbon. We toured a bunch of the different areas from Chiado all across. We settled on Liberdade because I think if you're going to spend more time here and use the apartment, I think it's nicer to be just slightly out of the craziness of Chiado. But I also think it's just this area there's a lot of action. It's more residential. I think there's a lot more opportunities, I think, in the Liberdade area. Yeah, we love the idea of the clubhouse, the swimming pool on the roof, the restaurant below. I think I always like to say things in life need to be low friction when you travel, especially with kids. It has just everything you need within walking distance. But I think another interesting thing was investing in a foreign country. I think communication is key. I've liked the way that Ando is, sort of presenting themselves with project updates monthly, on schedule or slightly below. I think communication has been key, and I think they've been pretty phenomenal with just keeping us abreast to where things are at on the development. Even when we came here a year ago, they were super gracious to host us in touring the building, showing us where it's at, what's happening. So again, I go back to when you're across thousands of miles away, you want to feel safe that your money and investment is in good hands, and we've definitely had a good feeling about it. I'll bring in, maybe there's a negative and a positive. The development that we were in fell slightly behind schedule. If you're ever going to invest in something, nothing 100% always goes to plan. So we were meant to be in the apartment, now, and it wasn't ready. And it was great that the Ando team, stepped up and said, hey, here's what we're going to do for you guys. We're going to host you and your family at our Corpus Santo property. It's an absolute 10 out of 10. Just the furnishings, I always worry about old buildings and how the plumbing's going to be, and it's been just incredible. We love the neighborhood, the fact that my kids 10 and 14 are walking to the store on their own, going to the cafe on their own. There's a sense of community. But I think a big shout out, as I said, to the Ando team, the property that we had wasn't ready, but they stepped up, they hosted us. And as I said, I couldn't be more excited about the property that we're going to be having, because the finishes, the experience has been just absolutely phenomenal. When we decided to do the Golden Visa, we looked at multiple routes and multiple, people that, organizations that were offering the program. When you're going to invest in a foreign country, right? One is you want to feel that the investment itself is going to generate a good return, part one. Part two is it becomes complex when you're now dealing with visas and attorneys, on a separate level. The fact that, Ando was sort of a one-stop shop that was tied into the, into the attorneys, and everyone's sort of talking, on things, part one. And I think it was great. And secondly, you can just see the product itself is going to generate the return we were looking for. And immediately now, even here, just being in the community, we've been coming for many years, sitting at coffee the other day playing, paddle tennis, people were talking about, this new project. They didn't know that I invested in it, but just hearing about there's the buzz in the community about the rooftop and the restaurant, got me super excited to know I'm going to see the investment, the return that we've been looking for. As I said, the fact that the return is there, the fact that, the team stepped up when our building wasn't ready and hosted us. Would I invest in additional properties? Absolutely.